Terrible. Before having a chance to be smoked.
My condolences to you and your cigarettes.
Thank you. Just one cigarette, luckily. My Save the Cigarettes campaign is off to a fun start.
I'm sure the
I
rest
got
of the
used
cigarettes
early.
are pretty bummed, though.
No, I think they're fine, actually. I think it was a lone cigarette.
Oh, the other
The
cigarettes
old
are
lone
lilies.
cigarette. Just lying there on the floor. Chopped in half. You know what's annoying when you break the cigarette so close to the filter that you can't even decide what to do with it?
I just flip it around and then stick the front
Smoke the
end in there.
filter.
No, like you can take the cigarette itself, flip it around, and then stick the top of the cigarette into like where the
Oh,
filter
right.
goes.
Into the. Yeah, totally. That's a pro move.
Yep, little
What did I know?
prison life hack for you.
See, we have to share life skills on this podcast. That's a good one to share.
Definitely.
How to steal a bike and get away with it. We should sick the Huff Poe on the guys that stole your bike. Do a redirect on them.
Yeah.
Like send some politically controversial stuff and say, "Come find me," but give them the address of the bike thieves.
Oh, that was clever.
Yeah, redirect them to the wrong source.
Maybe yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I just kind of want to let it go, you know.
Oh, that's definitely. I'm just joking around. Obviously, don't fucking pursue that.
No, I'm trying to do a bit here.
Oh, I'm sorry. my bad. I didn't know I was heckling.
Dude, I love when that happens. It happens like when you're telling a joke and then somebody like tries to go along with your joke and you don't get it. It happens to me all the time.
Yeah. Try to get someone in on it and they picked up the whole wrong part.
Yeah. I feel like we have this conversation often about how people expect comedians to be extra good at getting jokes, and so when like you don't, they're like, what?
Yeah. I most of the time don't. I'm seriously wicked. No, if a joke's well written, I always get it. But those like weird, vague jokes, I'm always like, too much thinking. My brain just pushes it out. Says, get away with thee. I say there's good jokes and there's bad jokes. The ones I like are the good jokes. I hear a bad joke, I say, get away from me. Bad joke.
Yeah, you gotta define your boundaries, you know.
That's right. Only good. That's like the most impossible precedent for an open mic. Only good jokes allowed.
Well, I mean, it's only a little bit more confusing than only clean comedy.
That's what I loved about Captain Jimmy's is like I got to watch it. I was like, I know this is gonna be interesting, the no swearing policy, and I know it's just not gonna work out. But I was also it made me tuned into how like important swearing is to us as a culture. Actually, like we feel confined if we can't swear. Literally, like you, me, Jason, most of us, when we're casual, fuck this, fuck that. That's fucking bullshit. I don't do it at work, but off the clock, that's the automatic. Just swear parade. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah, I mean, I'm pro.
Pro curses.
Yeah, for sure.
Pro cuss words.
I think that
you're fucking right.
if you use the swear word at the right time while you're on the clock, it actually can make you look like more of a professional. You know.
That's how you get a raise. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you drop the F-bomb like in front of a bad customer, you know, then I think you know, sometimes it all depends, but once in a while it's actually the right thing to do.
If no one's willing to drop the F-bomb and the F-bomb needs to be dropped and you step up and do it, it exhibits leadership. And that's how you get that raise.
Breaking the tension.
Everyone goes, oh, thank God someone was going to tell that guy to fuck off.
Well, for a long time, I would always be like, you would only take one generation agreeing not to swear or agreeing not to, like, it's weird to me that all these generations later, we still have a population of adults that are like, oh no, the F word. And it'd be like, well, didn't it exist when you were, like, I just don't understand generationally. You know,
I kind of get it at the same time, because it does cheapen language a little bit. Like in comedy, you can make a joke that sucks good just by adding a swear word in. I realize that. Not that I did that much, but if you look at a lot of like comedy that seems good, like if they took out the word fucking, the whole timing of the phrase would have been off. Literally.
yeah, people say that, but there's also, and you're right, that's true some of the time, but there's also like
a lot of the time.
But there's also like a million comedians who rely on cursing who still suck.
No, I know.
So,
I know.
Like,
I know.
I guess if somebody's doing that and they're awesome, I don't know that it like, you know, I don't know what the point in like, because some of the time that's true, but I feel like once you get to the upper echelons of people who are really good at it, they do both and dovetail it really well. Like your Bill Burrs, like your Dave Chappelle's, like your, you know.
Right.
Your OGs, yeah.
Well, Henry Rollins, he has like a policy about swearing where he only uses swears, like he tries to only use them like once or twice a month to you know, bring power to the swear word. So there's also, according to some people, some power to only using it when you have to. But I think that's a load of bullshit.
I think they have their place for sure, and their place is lots of places.
Yeah,
it's true. I just noticed that like it's good to study your own writing, at least for me, to realize like how much I swear naturally and how much yeah, I could use it as a crutch. And it is a slight crutch in that if you try not to swear doing stand-up, it's actually hard. That's how I knew. So you start to wonder, like all of us were like, oh shit, oh fuck. Like it was unfortunately for me, it looked like less like a cool nuance. It still did, and more like a stutter almost. Like almost I was like, oh, my swearing's almost like a stutter, actually. Like it's like a type thing, like fucking this, bullshit that, fucking fuck. That's not a problem with cussing. It's just it's a what's it called?
Well, because you could also make the argument that there's like a line where like richer or more powerful or like white people are like, yeah, this is how we separate ourselves from like poor people and working people, and you know what I mean? Like to a certain extent, there is like a huge difference in the classes as to how language is used like that. Like you could go into, you know, like a senator's ball or whatever, you know, that is, and they'd be like, oh, dirty language, you know, like that's what I picture, is that like it's a thing that separates you know, like the learned and the educated from people who are uneducated, or so they think. That's
I feel like the upper class would be like, oh, like be more I don't know if an upper or lower class thing. I think the lower class swears more than the upper class, if you ask me.
Well, it's like, do you know, are you familiar with My Fair Lady?
Not really, no.
Well, so
which one?
So it's about two rich guys who make a bet.
Fair Ladies is different area codes.
That's right.
Anyway,
wait, it's about two rich guys?
It's two rich guys who make a bet that one of the rich guys can take like the lowliest, like classless, like girl they can find and make her into, you know, like a high society lady. And and the whole movie is about, he basically does it. He gets really close, and they're at a race, like a horse race at the end, and she's got like, you know, like a huge hat on and like an umbrella and like a white dress. And he's super proud of himself because he's done it. He's, you know, taught her how to speak and how to look and how to dress. And their horse starts losing, and she stands up and goes, "Move your blooming ass!" And all the people are like, "Oh my god!" And like people are clutching their pearls, you know, and
it's an excitement. It's like a day at the zoo.
And basically they're all like, oh, you know, like,
how naughty.
That's how like, you know, the poor and like working, you know, urchin class talk.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying no swearing. It's class propaganda.
Yeah,
kind of is. It is. They say no swearing around here. Say, but swearing's part of our fucking culture. You can go fuck off if you think we're gonna listen to that bullshit. Right?
I don't know if I'm defending it rationally or irrationally, but
the local poet society says, "Go fuck yourself."
Beautiful.
The local
beautiful
society of free thinkers say, "Go take a flying F at the moon, you sons of Gunderson."
Take a long hike off a short pier. Yeah, goddamn.
That's right.
Jag off.
take a walk up Pebble Road, you sandal wearing goon.
I like that one.
Yeah, you saw him. One of those Cape Cod tourist resort types of fellas.
Yeah.
Kicking rocks at the lobsters he's gonna eat 2 hours later. You know what I'm saying?
Wearing salmon pink shorts and fucking blazers.
A fucking hemp necklace for some reason. The balls on this guy.
Ooh, really mixing mixing genres there.
Yeah, he's a Renaissance man. If
What
nothing
part
else.
of Cape Cod is this guy from? All over.
Yarmouth. Yarmouth, definitely Yarmouth.
He's got the billabong of the South Cape Cod. He's got the glasses of the East Cape Cod.
We should find a way to get Billabong to sponsor us just so we can wear really baggy clothes every podcast. We want Billabong surfer tees, loose fitting necklaces, and beach style t-shirts.
Billabong, the official label of "I found this hoodie at the public pool."
Yeah.
Is that just me? That might just be my.
It arose a common image in my mind, so I think you hit on a common nerve there.
It's definitely on Bill of Brand.
It's on Bill of Brand.
Welcome to the Stay in the Loop, you Snoop comedy podcast, episode
18.
You know what the fun? Are we recording? We're not live.
We've been recording.
Oh, we've been recording. Okay. Well, this is episode 18. If you've been with us so far, this is episode 18. Thank you for bearing with us. We are now of adult age to buy cigarettes. That's right. Western Mass Comedy Group, Stay in the Loop, you Snoop. Boop, boop, boop. This is episode 18 is what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to tell to you right now. You've been hearing us talk about, what were we just talking about? I had something else to say about it before I found out we were recording.
Really came off out of left field.
We were talking about the various styles of Cape Cod, depending on
right, yeah.
East Cape Cod, West Cape Cod, South Cape Cod, North Cape Cod.
This is like the white guy's guide to paradise right here. I've got all the sections of Cape Cod.
I'm wearing my billabong. I'm wearing my salmon shorts. I'm wearing my sandals. I'm wearing
I've been to the Lobster Festival.
Hemp necklace full of abalone seashells.
Oh.
He's there for the Lobster Festival.
I've frosted the tips of my hair.
We should throw our own Lobster Festival out in the Cape.
Mm-hmm.
I like that we're basically describing Guy Fieri.
I don't know why they don't bring all the lobster festivals out to Western Massachusetts. That's my main issue with all these lobster festivals.
Lobster festivals don't want to travel.
Yeah, lobsters have this attitude of like, you come to me.
That's true.
Yeah, they want to stay close to the sea.
Yeah.
Keep it fresh.
Well, I didn't go to the Cape this year or have any lobster, and I'm not the hugest fan of lobster. I think it's pretty good. You gotta be real voracious when you crack into those claws. I've seen some people suck on the legs like they're sucking Coke through a straw. Have you ever seen someone do that?
I've done it myself.
Yeah,
you've done it yourself, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you know you're addicted to that sweet lobster. When you gotta get every last drop of sea goodness, Atlantic juicy juice drip drop.
Yep.
A lobster is a food that makes me think that I could have been a vegetarian like when I was younger, because I used to work at a grocery store, and they don't kill, so that they sell a live lobster at the fish section, and then the person brings the live lobster like moving around and hanging out in their grocery cart with like their milk and stuff, and then brings it over to me, and the lobster's like, "You're not really gonna let them take me? They're gonna fucking kill me." And I'm like, "Sorry, lobster, it's my job." And it's like, "Oh my god," and really takes a lot out of you.
I don't like how they tie their claws. Yeah, I kind of feel bad for the lobsters in general. Like, I don't see it in Stop and Shop anymore, but I remember when my mom would take me shopping as a kid, I'd be like, "Oh my god." It was like a pet store, except you knew they were just gonna get killed and eaten.
Well, they
And
do that because
their claws were
they
taped
attack
shut.
each
Like
other.
that's like removing the birds from a wing. You sew shut or not sew shut. I don't know. I
It's
feel
not
like
so that they don't have a coup and break out.
No, yeah,
and
they
like an
they'll rip
Hall.
each other's legs off. Like if you don't like clip their not clip them, but put rubber bands around their claws.
I say free. I say free the lobsters. Don't even eat them at all. I just joined PETA, and this was an instigation against people who eat lobsters. I'm coming to the lobster festival, and
I
lobsters
say
gonna be
let
off
them
Apparently
the
roam
menu.
free.
Protect the lobsters.
they
These
used
are
to
my
feed
lobster eyes,
lobsters
by the way.
to criminals. Lobster was like trash food basically. Like only that would only be fed to the poorest of people.
Mm.
And because it
Because they're
was so
like
like
bugs.
because it was so
Shouldn't have done that.
underfished, it got to like the size of a 5-year-old boy sometimes.
A lobster did?
Yeah, you get these like
5-year-old.
ginormous.
Do you think it could chop off your toe with one of its claws if it was that big?
I think that it probably could. Yeah.
Stay away from that 5-year-old. I'm just imagining someone being like, "Damn, that lobster's the size of a 5-year-old boy."
He
When
could
did that
cut the
happen?
toe right off of my foot.
Yeah. Western Mass Comedy Group now providing the entertainment of the 5-year-old size lobster. Come pay $20 to maybe get your toe severed.
We should
I would
just
put
calculate
lobster
everything.
in definitely the top 10, bottom 10 list of like worst animals to have sex with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Too prickly crawly. No good.
Porcupines are on there. Skunks.
You think you'll feel better about yourself the next day, but you always feel worse. World's worse.
I mean, it was a shame what happened to Steve Irwin, but like having sex.
He knew what he was getting into.
Yeah, with a stingray, it's just.
Yeah, he was cuddling those
What do you
stingrays
expect,
a little
bud?
too close, if you ask me. Yeah. I mean, we're really going off the deep end here, but I felt that way about Stevie Irwin. I was like, you know, he died the way he lived. You know, if anyone was surprised that he ended up getting killed by the poison of a dangerous animal, they must not have been watching the show very well. You know, that was his whole thing.
Yeah, his last words were probably like, "I thought it was going to be a crocodile."
Yeah. He's like, oh, damn, it's finally actually happening to me. I thought I was invincible after these surviving from gator attack stories. That time I was mauled by a koala bear in the dark for trying to play with its babies. Crazy. I bet there's so many unreported incidences of Steve Irwin that, like, his self-defense against the wild skills were on point, but they didn't catch it all on tape, you know?
Got to get it all on tape.
I'm sure he went up against some like mongooses and stuff, you know. You think a mongoose would be easy to take in a fight, but ask Steve Irwin. They got strong pec strength, you know. And I don't mean pectoral, I mean pec.
If they would work together, there's nothing they couldn't accomplish. A group of mongooses, right?
It's pretty much true.
Yeah, we're all lucky, really.
One by itself can kill a snake, right? So if a group of 5 mongoose got together, it could drive your car, it could do your job, it could make love to your wife, you know?
That's true. They do eat snakes though, and snakes are tight. So there's a little bit of a beef going on. It's mixed politics. It's a little bit like Ron and Pauly D on the Jersey Shore, whether you're a snakehead or a mongoose head, because they've been going toe to toe for a while now.
Well, what makes this country strong is the fact that we have snakes and mongooses living in the same neighborhoods.
Checks and balances. That's right. That's the
Crips and Bloods.
That's democracy.
Yeah, that's right. Crips and Bloods.
No, not that at all. We are not affiliated with any gang.
No, we're saying Crips and Bloods are like mongoose and snakes. If we were going to be affiliated with a gang, what would it be? La M.A.?
I think we would buy mongooses off the dark web and like train them to fight rival gangs. That's what I think we would do. But I don't know what the name would be. Were you asking what the name would be?
No, if you were saying we're not affiliated with any gangs, I was pivoting and saying, if we were, which gang would it be?
Oh, that's a masterful pivot right there. Almost like you stayed on the exact same subject, pivoted directly into the same thing. I don't know. I would like to say
the Warriors.
One that I don't know about. The Irish Mafia.
Good answer.
I say the Irish mob, South Irish mob, in Ireland. That's what I would be. Ideally, if my life was to work out as a mobster, hopefully it would be in Ireland. I don't know. Either that or La Cosa Nostra, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a mix. It's a mix. Oh Lord, we're talking.
Do you ever think about how much it sucks that like if you had to go to prison, you had to join a gang, it would have to be one of the like shitty white power gangs?
Yeah.
Like the Crips or the Bloods wouldn't be like, all right, because not only are we white, but we're goofy, so there's no way they'd let us be Crips or Bloods. We would have to be like, all right, we'll be in the like Aryan Brotherhood or whatever, and that sucks.
Yeah. That's true. Or you could maybe just be the cool, quiet, introverted guy who always reads books during lunch, and just hope no one beats the hell out of you every other day. Just be like, I know I'm gonna. It's like till it's too late to join a gang. Just let yourself get beaten into that place. Be like, I'm not. You know what? I might do that actually. Be like, I'm just gonna get the shit kicked out of me, I guess, because I don't really feel like teaming up with these racist white Nazis. They're telling me I have to get a tattoo just to join their shit I don't even want to be part of.
But I don't think they have like a system where they're like, oh, we'll like beat you down real good, but we won't stab you. Like they'll do whatever. You could.
I know you'd be risking
like, hey,
it.
Man, I'm good, and then they're like, all right, bam, there's your throat. Blah, 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 blah.
But you're risking it by joining a gang in jail too, because then the other gang wants to. You know what I mean? I feel like might as well go it alone.
Well, but you're doing it for protection, because if you got no friends in the chow hall, then who's gonna keep you? Then some guy sits next to you and he's like, "Hey, give me your cookie," or like, "Hey, have your brother bring in, a cantina full of, great Powerade."
What gang is the equivalent of the drama kids?
I think we'd be the cream of the crop in jail. You know what I mean? We'd be I mean, I guess you would have to choose. I just feel like you're the one saying you wouldn't want to join. They always make it sound like you have to join, but maybe if you ride the edge, enough between, you'd be a maverick kind of.
But
you know what I mean? A soothsayer of the jail.
I think the reason why you have to join is because you need somebody to protect you from the people that just will take everything you have if you're not with anybody.
No, I know. Yeah, it's herd mentality or something akin to that. Yeah. No, I guess I would have to join up. But maybe there's a faction we don't know about that's just like they're white but not proud of it gang.
I would hope that there's like a subsection.
We're the shamefully white prison gang.
I would hope there's a subsection of like the Aryan Brotherhood that's like just there for like tax evasion or like vandalism or whatever, and like they're not that into it, and like everybody like there's a half that's like white power, and then there's like three guys that are like white power. Oh my god, this is the worst. And then like when a new guy comes in, those three guys are like, all right, is this a real racist guy?
We get to hand over the baton.
Is this just a regular guy who is forced to join the Aryan Brotherhood like us? And then you watch and you come in and you're all like like in rehab where you like look and you're like, is this gonna be a cool person or just like a lame-o? You know? And then they come in and maybe they're not really racist and they're just like, oh, hi guys, how's it going?
Sorry about this. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt your day. I'm gonna have to cut your arm.
I'm actually really into 90s hip hop.
Hey guys, I hate to interrupt, but I just wanted to get in and just say, just for the sake of representation, white power.
No.
Okay, thanks. Just wanted to get that out there, and I appreciate y'all listening to me.
Brief and to the point. Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of apologetic about it.
Yeah.
Listen, and I don't want to come off too strong.
Yeah. It's not what I chose. Put it this way: it's who I am, but it's not what I chose.
Yeah.
That would be their motto. You're damn right. It's who I am, but it's not what I chose. Kind of white power. That's what.
I want to live in a world with a neutral prison gang, where they're just
Yeah.
like, hey, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, we're all prisoners.
That's what. Maybe there's a lone shark, like there's an undiscovered jester role in jail, who's the actual peacekeeper. You know what I mean? And when he joins a jail, the head guard goes like, "Oh, this is good. We finally got a comic on our hands." He'll go around sprinkling his humor amongst the inmates, and then you get through jail that way by being the.
If you're the funny guy in prison, they're gonna be like, "Hey, why don't you tell me a joke?" Like when they're angry, you know, you're gonna be somebody's like, you know.
I'm not saying your chances are good. I never say your chances are good.
Hey, fish, tell me a fucking joke.
I want to join the prison gang that instead of being against the other prisoners who are of different races, or just against the guards and the cops and the judges that put us all in prison.
The anti-political gang. Yeah, that's like the libertarian jail gang.
Well,
we just don't agree with the system.
Let's all point our fingers at each other like a bunch of fucking jerk-offs while we're all in cages that some other group of people put us in.
Well, there's also the psychedelic like gangs, you know, like the Grateful Dead heads and the fish
in jail. In jail. Join the Deadheads. They're the most peaceful gang. Yeah.
What do you call a fish fan?
You get to smoke. You get to smoke weed in your cell if you join the Deadhead.
Is that what
gang when you go to jail?
Is that what the fish fans call themselves? Philanthropists.
As a fish head, no, but that is kind of funny. A philanthropish. It doesn't really grammatically work. Yes, I raise money for charity through sales of my fish T-shirts, which are made at home, which have funny pun references to songs you might have heard from one of our CDs, perhaps. Maybe Junta.
Oh, is that a? I was like, can I think of anything about Fish? I'm sure that there's.
They're my favorite band, so I don't even. I'm a huge Fish fan. I've seen them probably 50 times. So if you're gonna start pouring on the Fish jokes, better have your facts ready, because
I've
been touring for like 35 years straight now, successfully, with like multi-million-dollar tours every year, and their music's beautiful.
Here's some things I know about Fish. All right, I know that they're, and I honestly don't know very much. I know that they're a jam band. I know that they're like people like, oh, you like the Grateful Dead, you also like Fish, because I know that they're famous for very, very long live shows, and I that is basically it. I know that Trey Anastasio had a live, like a side project with Les Claypool and Stuart Copeland that I liked a lot, called Oysterhead.
Yeah, I saw Oysterhead. They were awesome.
Yeah, that's the man. Stuart Copeland is fucking amazing, like a great drummer and a great songwriter, and that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not familiar with this supergroup, but I do know. I can tell you one song about Fish. I mean,
one song about Fish.
One thing about Fish.
I hope you wrote a song about Fish.
They have a 20-minute song that goes, tag it, bag it.
No, it goes bag it, tag it.
Oh, my
that's
apologies.
Reba.
Yeah.
That song, but okay, so that's
not bag it, tag it.
Yeah, no, the songs are goofy, but that's what makes them awesome. They're not supposed to be serious. They're supposed to be like children. People don't get it. It's supposed to be like a children's, like almost Dr. Seussian element, but then that's a goofy structure of the song is intentional and it's cartoonish. That's like a constant thing in theirs. And then
not knowing
like
the music really well. It seems goofy. Like one of those groups that's like ruined by like the kind,
bad comedy. Ruined by bad comedy, really, because it's just an easy joke. Is like, say something about fish, idiots. Like, it never goes explored as like, hey, maybe they're actually a group of really gifted musicians. Well, then when you say that, people are like, oh, this guy. I'm like, well, everybody's hating on my favorite band, giving me insecurity issues.
I was gonna say that it's more like there's a certain kind of person that sometimes gets really into it, and sometimes like that's a band's like no negative about a band, but sometimes their fans will be like a certain I feel like when I think of Fish fans, I think of like like sophomore to junior in high school, like in the school band. Like, you know how like in high school, like musicians in high school who are like not like jazz musicians from high school. That's who I think of when I think about Fish.
They did meet in college, so that's somewhat accurate. They started their band in college to play college shows, so and a lot of their fans are stupid, but the original fans aren't. But Fish shows there are a lot of fake gangsters. That's the part that should get made fun of, is like the fake gangster white guy realm thing in jam bands is so like disgusting. Like there's like a whole like small time mob, like the main character of In the Soup, but they're just like 20-year-old trust fund kids walking around with knives.
Well, but isn't it that
and
because
Molly
like
and
any
big
band that
chains
goes around
and
like
shit.
that has like a big
no,
like,
seriously, they wear like
entourage.
big Egyptian chains and these long like wool fucking make them look like wolf leaders or whatever, and they be acting mighty hard just off their trust fund though, because they're never like physically menacing. They just wear really like wolf threads, you know.
But is that specific to the band, or is that just like a general like kind of like festival?
That's jam
atmosphere?
bands.
Because
Yeah.
like jam bands like in jam festivals have this like kind of dark underbelly.
They do.
Like drugs.
Yeah, crime. Yeah.
Yeah.
And crime. Yeah, like there's some scary shit going down.
Yeah.
Any kind of.
And they're like, I'm saying they're like 25 to 30-year-old white guys, like every time. And they wear they're like rappers, because they wear like those necklaces they sell there are mad expensive with wraps. So they'll have like 20 chains on as if they're like Mike Tyson after he won the world heavyweight title, but they're just like 5'10" and 160 pounds and soaking wet from standing in the rain trying to sell coke for 2 hours.
That's like a real
I'm gonna stab someone if Jeremy doesn't get me back that $300 I fronted him for that Valium.
And like Molly.
And Molly.
Those guys are always trying to pass off their fucking Molly and bubble hash.
And they have girlfriends
and
that
the
are
bubble
like,
hash runs out really early in the festival.
There's girlfriends that are like just a little too young for them.
We only did the Molly to get to the bubble hash, and then they smoke all the bubble hash while you're not looking. Yeah. No, Molly does have a really dark underbelly, and I'm not talking about some girl named. No, you know what I mean. Yeah, there's lots of fake gangsters in the Molly world.
But
watch out for them Jay
where
Zizzles.
There's like jam bands and where there's festivals, there's like money to be made off like drugs.
The nitrous mafia rolls deep. They're scary. They're like little urchins.
That's true. You're right.
I've seen them like a SWAT team operation efficiency. I've seen them do it like 20 times. Every time I've gone, it's like suddenly like, okay. And there's like a crew of like 2 dudes that swoop in with like a carrying case. And they have like a planned direction to run in every time. Like they're like, yeah.
Come on, that's a drug that should be legal, right?
Yeah. Yeah. All it does is like kill all your brain functioning. It's just a minute though. Just a minute. Unless you just keep on sucking down balloons, then, you know, that's up to you. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we've talked about gangs and the nitrous mafia. We really like to just explore some criminal elements.
Hell yeah.
Well, we had that meeting last week, and we were like, you know what? I don't think the Huffington Post is dangerous enough for us. Who can we really invoke the wrath of? And so I'm glad you brought this up, Ezra. I would like to.
I think specifically what you said, Ryan.
QAnon.
Hold on, Ryan's gonna say something.
We're coming for you.
QAnon, that's right.
QAnon.
I don't even know. I called out QAnon. What's QAnon? Now I feel like I made a mistake.
Jason,
my accusation.
You know about QAnon?
I do know about QAnon. Yeah. And I remember the meeting too. You said, whom's bonnet shall we place into another bee? And I said, let's put a bee in the bonnet of, and then I kind of like twirled my finger around the wall that had like this massive list of various organizations, and I briefly brushed it past the Catholic Church.
Satan worshipping pedophiles.
Yep. Yeah, they harvest adrenochrome. QAnon. Well, not QAnon.
Seems real.
But
seems real to me. Yeah, it seems real. We're coming for you. I don't like their First of all, I don't like their worshiping of Satan. I don't like the way that they treat sexuality and turn it into some kind of ring that they can all profit amongst while we're not looking behind the scenes. You know, just regular people going to their jobs with their regular families, telling their wives and kids that they're just going away to golf for the weekend when really they're off worshiping Satan and sacrificing the children to the owls.
Yeah.
Awful QAnon. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. I can't believe I was probably in one of my coma states where I get really mad but don't remember what I was saying.
Boy, howdy.
When I go into a coma, for some reason I talk more. That's when the truth really comes out. I think our proposed guest was Austin Rutledge, Pioneer Valley's. I'm fake introducing him now. I don't know where he is, but he's supposed to come on. Yeah, let's do the longest drum roll and just see if he comes on, because he's not responding. Oh, he just got home. You guys, you know what? He's not coming on. It's just the three of us. Just the way we're comfortable, though, when I think about it. You know, I'm almost relieved. I hope.
Should we keep drum rolling then?
No, because then we would just be drum rolling sadness, I think. Drum rolling for something we know that's not going to happen. I mean, the saddest thing ever.
Well,
what we should do, we should drum roll.
Suspense.
Just a forward, slow drum
It's not dramatic if you just know it's never going to break.
Okay.
You know, that you're just sadly drumming the same beat for all time.
No, you know what? Let's let Ryan go ahead and start the drum roll.
Start the drum roll, okay. One of you has to coax Austin. While Ryan is doing the drum roll, either me or you, Jason, has to gently coax Austin's ego till he feels like he has more to lose by not coming on than he does by coming on.
Well, we could just basically just attack his entire like everything he stands for, so that he would have to come on to defend himself.
I know all his co-stars and actors too. I know their names. I know their most familiar connections. You know, he could be in trouble. Really, is what I'm saying. Is we could do some threats.
Well,
is that what you were thinking?
Connected to the nitrous mafia.
That's true. Well, if you feel so bold, if you feel like the only way we can do this is by threatening Austin Rutledge, feel free.
Okay.
But he was supposed to be our guest. You gonna harass him a bit?
Yeah. I'll start.
This can substitute for Where's Steve, because I contacted Steve. He said he'd be busy tonight. The son of a gun. But you know what I was thinking? You know what I was thinking? Even if he doesn't pick up the phone, we can still talk about where he might be.
Okay.
Yeah, we're still allowed to speculate about it.
We're still, yeah.
He might be at the bottom of the ocean, right?
He might be, yeah. This is why he's so selfish. He doesn't realize how important. He takes us for granted, really.
Do you think him and Austin are hanging out without us?
No, dude, he might be in my kitchen right now, guys.
He might be.
Oh,
you sneakster. You sneakster. What if you panned over and he had like a miniature piano set up, like a standing piano, and he just went right into song?
I could totally superimpose it so that when Ryan tilts the camera, like Steve Yarbrough's like over like in his house.
I want to see a Steve Yarbrough though that looks like the girl in The Ring, and then he and I are gonna braid our beards together.
Someone's got to braid beards with him, yeah. Everybody's been saying, Steve, you have such a beautiful beard, but when are you going to learn how to share,
Yeah.
Let someone braid theirs into yours and share.
Siamese twins. We missed the opportunity to be Siamese twins for Halloween this year and really party all over the dark web.
Yeah, he was really excited about that, too. I remember when I was talking to him, I was like, hey, Steve Yarbrough, where are you? He said, I'm currently at the Halloween costume store. And I'm looking for a costume to wear to hang out with Steve Yarbrough. And I said, but you're Steve Yarbrough.
Said, he was having a fit, huh?
Yeah.
He was in one of his states. Ooh.
So and so I called Austin. I was like, Austin, Steve Yarbrough is
in trouble.
He's disassociating. He's standing in the Halloween store, disassociating, and so he rushed over. You know, I think he said he was at the fire. He was like at the police station,
Yeah.
doing like a presentation or something about fire safety.
Oh
And
God, he's off
yeah,
the rails.
but he dropped
Yeah.
everything and came right over. You know, and I could hear the police protesting. You know, they were really engaged with the program.
They're worried about Steve too. The police keeps a close eye on Steve for sure, but they like him, so he gets away with everything.
Yeah, well, that's why I always
The
call
rascal.
the police, you know, just to let them know what's going on with Steve when I know.
Keep him updated.
Yeah, because everybody wants to know
He
where
could be
Steve
at harm.
Yarbrough is, you know.
He could be at harm for sure.
Yeah, I like to check in, you know.
I always know he's in trouble. I went to North King Street Market the other day, and he was like, once again, he had like all the candy in his arms, you know, and it was spilling down, and he was trying to catch it as he walked towards the counter, you know.
Hilarious.
And he said, forget it, and went to pay for it anyways, and just left all the Twizzlers and Skittles on the floor behind him.
Wow.
I had to pay. I had to pay. He didn't even have any money on him.
What a bum.
Yeah.
Well,
sorry, Steve.
You know, one time I was driving to Stop and Shop, and I saw him like kind of out like on the divot, like he was holding a sign.
Oh no. Get help, Steve. What do the signs say? I'm curious. This hurts, but the more I know, the better I feel.
It said, I'm doing this for my friend Austin Rutledge, who is
well,
also
that's conspicuous. That's conspicuous.
Yeah.
I would categorize that under conspicuous and assorted, and yeah, hopefully. I mean, if he's with Austin, he's in safe hands, you know. I know Austin didn't make it onto her podcast, but he's probably, I don't know, Steve should be in more films anyways, if you ask me. We should suggest that Steve Yarbrough become the... I'll say, I won't do any more roles for you, Austin. Because I know there's a better actor out there, more handsome, more worldly, more troubled, sure, but only because he burns the candle brighter on both ends because of his wicked genius. Who am I talking about? Steve Yarbrough. Can also play piano and just about any instrument you put in front of him, and teaches classes on how to manicure your goatee like a professional in the music teaching world. That's who.
He's a perfect match for Austin.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I think is really magical.
I have to see this, by the way. This would be great. Sorry.
One of the things that I think one of the ways that Austin really shines as a filmmaker is the way that he has like a certain way of like getting like men and women to like interact.
Oh yes.
You know, and like you probably know what I mean. Like he's got this like kind of theme. Like it seems like the
there's always romance in the background.
There's always a little romance going on. You know, it's there's and like
he keeps that simmering.
Yeah, he likes that to the point that he doesn't like to have like more men than women or more women than men like in his movies. Like he likes to pair it off. So it's like if there's going to be a male, there's got to be a female.
One to one.
Exactly. Yeah. And so like I'm wondering like, you know, what if like could I dress like a woman, you know, like to like keep the ratio going, you know, because like I feel like there's a lot more men like that, like, you know, like could be like doing like Austin's like thing, you know, but just like dressing like ladies.
You're saying there's too many
too many men.
Women.
Too many women.
In
There's too many women in this film.
Yeah, I'm saying there's.
That's what you're saying.
Women need to get out from in front of the camera.
That's right. Let Steve step in. Yeah. That's where we let Steve step in.
One thing I've always said about film is that there's too many women.
You know, Shakespeare. He used to have women just play the men just play the women's parts. And
yeah, that's true.
He thought it was funny. He didn't think you guys would take it for serious.
It was art with him. Yeah.
Hey, you know,
You got to cross dress for an extra 2 likes. That's what we should do. We're trying to get our likes up. Jason, you look pretty in a dress. I bet. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
And I'm sorry I said it. That was me attempting to be PC. Not
the idea that like
it's confusing sometimes.
I just don't
the idea that
think I would look
a
good
dress or a skirt is like female gendered is like ridiculous. It would make so much sense in so many situations for any of us to like in the summertime. I spend a decent amount of time actively angry at not being able to just like sundress it up at every occasion. You know, sundress. God
Move
damn
to
it.
Scotland. Move to Scotland.
Yeah,
hey, you don't like it? Move to Scotland. That's my
but
argument.
a heavy kilt would only be good for the fall. I wouldn't want a kilt all summer either.
I'm just gonna play the casual tax-paying American in this and say, nah, you don't like it? Move to Scotland.
I mean, we do get certain.
That's why. That's actually why. Is because there would be it would just be annoying. There'd be some idiot telling you shouldn't every 10 feet.
Like I can just pull my shirt off and walk around with my shirt off, and everyone's just like,
well, that's
hey.
not. Is that legal anymore? Are men allowed to just walk around with their shirts off after all the, nasty bad stuff that other men have done?
Oh, is that what's going to take away from us for being so evil for so many years?
Yeah. Like downtown Northampton, would you walk around with your shirt off downtown Northampton? I did it once and it felt weird.
I would.
If I was in better shape, I would, sure.
It's not even about shape. I would just feel so aggressive. I feel so aggressive. I feel like, hey, I'm not.
Part of the
joy. This isn't cool anymore. Yeah,
part of the joy is not being in shape. Like
that's true.
If you're in good shape and you got your shirt off, you look like an asshole. But
that's not true.
But like if you're like a hot doughy mess and you got your shirt off, it's funny. You're not trying to impress.
We shouldn't. You know what? We shouldn't limit who gets to take their shirt off, though. Is my only thing. No, that'd be hilarious. If you're in shape,
though.
We know you're in shape. Keep your shirt on. We can see it through the shirt.
Yeah.
On you.
Yeah. Nobody's gonna call the cops on Joe's 6-pack.
It's true. But you get a guy with a little extra on, the popo comes swarming in and they try to arrest you for extra booty fat.
That's right. Yeah, everybody's like, oh God, put a shirt on.
Put a shirt on.
And I'm just like, no. Look at my
I'm as God made me.
Mm-hmm.
Same here, yeah. Or the devil, depending on the way you looked at it. You like how I that like one of those movies? Turns out it wasn't God that made me. Guess who it was?
Who?
It's gonna be right on the nose. The devil. That's who. Aha.
Speaking of movies.
Speaking of movies, we got the devil in a cover. They love covering the devil in a big blanket of cinema nowadays. So Austin called out. Steve's unavailable. This is episode 18. If you've like seriously, like if you've been watching since the start, since like episode 1, and you thought like episode like 1 through 5 were good, but then you kind of thought they fell off between episode 6 through 11, and you thought about maybe like giving up on us for good, but then you tuned in for episode 12, Stay in the Loopy Snoop, and you saw that we were back and we killed through 12 through 15, and then the last 2 you've just been like, you know what, I'm gonna give it another shot. Thank you so like seriously.
Thank you.
We wouldn't still be doing this if you were. How you guys like that? That's my payback to the audience right there.
Were you doing the Blair Witch Project? That's what I thought you were doing at the beginning.
No, I was trying to connect with our audience, build a bond that's grown over time. I mean, think about it. This is episode 18, and those cats who've been there since episode 1.
All those
our ride or die homies who haven't given up on us despite our contentious legal battles with the Huffington Post.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate it. All 4 of you. All 4 of you. I could say your names, but you might not want me to.
QAnon.
Pizzagate. I am so dumb that I just think of a gate made of pizza. Every time someone says Pizzagate, I just visualize.
So, do you
gate.
think Joe Biden's ready to commit all the murders that you have to as president? I think he is, and I think he's been ready
with reason, with good reason though. Yeah.
The
only
murders?
thing is, yeah, he'll have good. Each time he'll have like a very good reason. If you ask me, because he seems like a calm, sensible, rational murderer. If anything, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, part of the job as president.
That's why I voted
to
him.
Go out and to take lives, you know.
Yeah, I voted him to take lives, so I couldn't really get upset.
That's
like,
I was.
Trump did
that's
a good
the one
job
thing I
with
think...
taking lives, but
True.
it's like American lives.
Biden will do it sneakily, like in the woods at some Democratic like charity convention, and we'll never know about it.
That's like the one thing that I don't think Bernie would have been good at as a president, is that I think inherently as president of the United States, you have to be ready to murder a bunch of people in order for us to stay on top and still have like the quality of life that we enjoy. And Bernie seems like he would have been like, what? We're going to like blow up this entire country and just take their wallets in order to pay our federal debt? Why would we do that? And be like, we always do that.
Is that what I voted for? Is that what my vote for Biden was? Blowing up all the buildings and taking all the money to pay us back with?
Somebody's gonna have to.
Democrat.
That guy's ready to take it out of somebody's ass.
I feel like our podcast is like the anarchist cookbook version of podcasts. 3 odd men with strange, destructive ideas that they haven't been able to share with anyone else finally have the forum amongst each other, confess their murderous urges.
See, the thing is that Ted Kaczynski wouldn't have had a podcast.
He might have. Why not? Don't sell him short. He was charming as hell. He could have been a great, and then he would kill you right after that.
It would have to be on a wax.
Yeah.
On a wax cylinder.
Sure, he'd interview you, but not before he killed you.
It'd be a subscriber thing. You'd go to his house, and you'd put a tin cup next to your ear, and the tin cup would be tied to a string, and he'd just be yelling into another tin cup in the next room over.
The Ted cup.
Yeah, Ted cup.
It rings. Let's Ted know the times. Oh, this is an awful idea.
I think I know what Ted Kaczynski looks like, but my brain thinks it's funnier to show me Will Ferrell dressed like Ted Kaczynski.
That would be, yeah, I would watch it. People hate Will Ferrell, but I like anything he'll play ridiculously, I'll watch.
I think he should have gotten a movie. I forget if it was a recurring character on SNL or if he was just Ted Kaczynski once, but he should have gotten a movie role out of it.
We should do a sketch where it's called Ted Kaczynski Talks, and it's like he's at a TED Talk, and he's just like...
He died, though, didn't he?
He's just struggling.
Didn't he die?
Yeah.
So, too late, you guys. We should have started this podcast back when we could have interviewed him.
Back in the 90s. What are we doing now?
We should have started this back in the 90s. Now we'll never get to interview. I liked the show about him. He was hilarious. He cracked me up because he's just acting like he ain't been doing it and saying shit like, I need a light in my cell so I can read books. What books, Ted? The law books that are going to help me win this case against you, motherfucker. He did that shit.
Who wins in a fist fight?
They gave him a lamp.
Ted Kaczynski or Ted Bundy?
I'm thinking of Ted Bundy. They gave Ted Bundy a lamp because he needed to read law books to
Can
prepare
he beat
for
Ted
his
Kaczynski
defense.
In a fist fight? That's my question.
They're both really small, wiry guys.
I know, that's why I pitted them against each other.
Yeah, good question. We should put this up for a test along with our Snakes Tight.
Who cares? Nobody's going to watch a bunch of wiry guys fight each other. Nobody cares.
I would. You kidding me? People would watch that. That'd be like the Tyson Roy Jones fight, except hyped by 5,000. I want to see big boys
fight. I want to see some fucking... Show me those fucking...
I want to see some weird, wiry murderers scratch each other to death. That's what that would be.
Like,
I want to see sumo fights.
I want to see them pull each other apart.
I want to see a sumo wrestler.
See, this is a problem with our podcast. We all get excited about the ways we're gonna murder and end up talking over each other every time.
Sorry.
You say Ted Kaczynski, I say Ted Bundy. I take Ted Bundy because he seemed actually mean and vicious, whereas Ted Kaczynski was fucked up, but he did it from afar.
Yeah, he's more of an academic.
So I'd give Ted Bundy definitely the upper hand. He would be way more insane and willing to do. Because Ted Kaczynski, he wasn't an intimately violent guy. He liked, cool, calm, and controlled manipulation from afar was his whole.
Yeah, as soon as the ref said no bombs, Ted Kaczynski to be like, shit. I'm gonna lose this fight.
He was probably actually, like, I guarantee you, actually really scared of physical immediate conflict, and so he like projected that in reverse into needing to bomb people from really far away.
Okay, but he did live in the woods by himself in like a
that's
shed.
True.
So I feel like he's got mountain man strength on his side.
That's true.
Whereas Bundy, like, he preferred to kill women, so obviously he's a pussy.
That's a good point.
That's a good point. I feel like they've both been through their dark night of the soul.
Yeah, but at least he chose who he killed. Ted Kaczynski didn't even have the passion to choose who he did it. He just left it be, you know? That kind of says a lack of commitment.
Yeah, no, but he
didn't know which
to the people he wanted to kill.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Never mind. Damn, I forgot.
He like put their names and addresses on it. That's who he wanted.
But he also did postal service bombs too, didn't he? Just at the post office.
He had bombs that go off at the post office, but it wasn't intentional.
Yeah, that would. Okay. You're right. That would make him a real fucking dick if he was targeting the post office.
The post office. Yeah.
I
thought post office is too advanced.
No, he liked the post office. He said you guys take the post office for granted. I didn't read his full thesis, but it was about how this whole structure is in place that's actually limiting us, that's supposed to be giving us access way. So we take the shit for granted. Like the postal service is such a beautiful system, but then he was anti-system, talking about red lights everywhere, stop and go, all the intermechanisms of actual working physical society. He was anti that. And so I feel like, I don't know, and if that doesn't apply to the fight, but I still give it to Bundy because he was an up-close psycho. Not some Jason, not some from afar wilderness expert.
All right, I give it to Bundy.
You give it to Bundy? All right.
Yeah.
Jason still with us?
I have to,
we should just call it a wrap on this episode. We talked about gangs, white power. We haven't talked about snakes is the only thing we haven't covered.
We still got to get to
either.
Yeah, we haven't talked about the movie. I know. I'm chomping at the core.
Chomping at it.
Hey, I mean, if you want to do a short episode, like
no. I just don't know what else to say about. I think we've come to a wrap. I think we got 2 Bundys and 1 Kaczynski in this voter pool, but we can expand it to a larger audience to find out.
I've actually, in honor of Ted Kaczynski, I've decided to abstain, as I believe that the system is inherently broken.
There you go. I agree. Actually, me too. That was the cool thing to say. Too cool for it. Right. We're not even gonna vote on it. You guys want to learn a new fact about snakes?
Yeah, lay it on me, brother.
That's why you came here, right? You're too shy to say it. It's embarrassing.
I didn't have those snake facts, man.
I know. It's like an episode of 24. It sucks having to wait a whole week, but it's so worth it once you do.
I've never seen an episode of 24, but I bet I'd like it because I like Kiefer Sutherland in that movie where he's an FBI agent and Dennis Hopper is like his dad's friend or whatever.
I liked it. I watched it. It was fun.
Number 2 and then number 4, so I feel like I would like it.
It gets you addicted. It was one of the first shows where like a sound is so important to it. That do is so simple, but it actually really sold the show because like that noise.
Law and Order.
Yeah, that noise and it was very efficient in invoking the rush needed to fulfill the job he had to do every day. Whereas I'm just trying to sling a snake fact, you know.
Is Ching Chong the most problematic way that I could express the Law and Order sound?
I don't know what the Law and Order song is. What? Dun dun. That one?
Ching Chong. Yeah. Should I not do it like that?
What is that supposed to sound like?
It's like a gate shutting, I think. Like
oh yeah. Yeah, no, it doesn't sound good. Sounds almost like you made it intentionally bad. I would go like that. That's a substitute.
See, I feel like that's just as ridiculous, but less fun.
Yeah, but it doesn't involve two racist words back to back in it.
Actually,
it's the benefit of mine.
It's an onomatopoeia.
Swahili for kill the white devil, so it's still racist.
Oh, okay. Well, you guys, we're getting thrown off. We're getting into politics. How come we can't just enjoy a simple snake fact anymore without making it all political? You know. We're adding to the problems around snakes, I feel. We're going to solve the problems around snakes by educating. And that's why we're bringing to you Snake Fact number 43. You guys, I wasn't really surprised to learn this, but you might have already guessed this, that snakes do not have eyelids, you guys.
Yeah.
Rather, they have a single, I know, I said you guys probably know, but it's worth exploring. They have did you know this, that they have a single transparent scale called a brill, and that's what protects their eyes?
I didn't know
thick little film layer called a brill. Most snakes see very well, especially if the object is moving. And I also found this. I did some extra snake research, you guys, because I like the initial snake fact, but then it always gets me wondering some extra stuff about snakes. That always happens. It's awesome. Snakes sleep with their eyes open, obviously, since they don't have eyelids. Duh.
Yeah, what else are they gonna do?
What are you gonna do? Yeah, other than not sleep, but even snakes
suck the eyes into their heads.
Yeah. Maybe a million years from now, evolution will be like, I feel bad for these snakes always having to clench their eyes open all the time, even while they're sleeping.
I feel like in a couple more million years, snakes are definitely going to have some more legs.
They're going to have wings, too. They're going to have the wings, and they're going to fly like this, and then land on their snake arms.
Yeah.
From snake wings to snake arms in the landing. Be awful. As much as I like snakes, hyper evolved snakes might be an issue. But yeah, I remember. Do you guys remember this thing? This is a riff off of the snake fact right here. Do you remember at the Quabbin, the parents were getting upset about the rattlesnake population?
Oh, yeah.
And so what they're trying to do is they're going to round up all the rattlesnakes and just throw them on the island in the middle of the water. But that was a stupid idea anyways, because they probably just would have swum back. And if you ask me, if they had any mind at all, they'd be twice as likely to attack your children after you put them through that awful experience.
Yeah, they're just wrong. They just want revenge.
Revenge, yeah. It'd be a good horror movie. Local concerned parents set off a snake. You know, in their fear and protecting their own children, they endanger their own kids through reaching their hands into nature where it don't belong.
Sounds like a horror movie.
That's what I was just saying. Yeah, it should be a horror movie. But I think actually, I take it back though, because we need a movie that puts snakes in a positive light. I think that's what our film. I think that's what our film group, which is what this is. I think if we're vying for snakes so hard, we have to make a story where a snake is the good guy for once.
Yeah, we got to stand for snakes.
Show that not all snakes are scum, you know.
There's a movie about snakes. It's a horror movie from the 80s or 90s, and I forget who made it, but it's called like 10 S's in a row, and I think it would have been problematic to market.
Yeah, you would wonder how long you had to make that noise for. So is it I think it would be the second one. You really want to add it. If you're trying to sell the movie on the noise of a hissing noise alone, you should at least have 20 S's in there back to back.
I'd have to see how many it was.
True. This is why we're such film experts. We're always checking for the number of S's in the title.
I think I have it on DVD over here. I'm going to check how many S's it is.
Nice. This is good research. Research and development team headed by Ryan Arnold. Oh, and by the way, Jason, it's not that his camera isn't here. His face turned into a big ovular box.
7.
7. Huh. That's you know what that is? That's excessive. Yeah. So, all right. That was a pretty good snake fact, right?
It was directed by Bernard Kowalski.
So if a snake ever comes up to you, this is my takeaway. If a snake ever comes up to you and you're in one of those weird life or death, like the snake challenges you to a thing and the snake says, who will blink first? Don't take that bet, because he'll be a sneaky little snake that he is, knowing the whole time that he can't blink to begin with. So I'd watch out for that. That's also what that, in the fictional realm of being tempted by snakes, gave me some good thoughts on how to prepare for that in case the devil doth come to my front door, so to speak.
That's too sneaky.
Too sneaky.
I won't stand for it.
You know, I just realized sneaky sounds like snaky. Is that more propaganda there?
That's some like Christian, Judeo-Christian bullshit. This is what that is. It's because the snakes have been taking all the
blame,
all the heat since day one.
Yeah.
And they snuck the snake into the sneak. That's called brainwash right there. That's called brainwash. And I bet QAnon is big in on that somehow, making some money off of it with its dirty
brainwash.
With its dirty corporate
that brainwash.
It's sex enslaved, non-tax paying, racketeering across the country, buying oil refineries, QAnon.
Adrenochrome,
yeah, recycling fetus material, whatever the hell it is. Jeez. If we don't call them out, who will? Not the HuffPo. They stay silent on all important issues. Except for freedom, that is. You guys want to talk about In the Soup?
I do want to talk about In the Soup.
Oh,
Before we talk about In the Soup, can I really quickly? I was just thinking about the Beastie Boys and how in the Beastie Boys Fight for Your Right to Party, when he's saying, "Ma, you're just jealous," it's the Beastie Boys. It's crazy that guy would think that his mom was jealous of the Beastie Boys. Where her priorities and like idea of what's cool is probably so far from the Beastie Boys. Her kid is a fucking idiot to think that
he's also saying
in her world of like cotillions and like fancy dresses or whatever, that she's gonna be jealous of the 1987 Beastie Boys. What an asshole.
It's a crock of crap, yeah. He's also saying his mom's the one who's gonna stop him from partying too, so which is it?
Yeah.
You know?
She just wants to be the Beastie Boys, and that's why she lashes out at the Beastie Boys.
He's also saying she threw away his best porno mag, you know?
Yeah.
He's probably just upset about that she threw away his porno mag.
Well, yeah, I think misplaced anger. It's a little more deep seated. It's the jealousy of of the like penis envy. Like she
but has your mom ever thrown away your best porno?
Mom's like she's not mad that you're doing all this shit. She's mad that she can't do it.
It's getting weird here. It's getting kind of Freudian. I'm liking it.
Yeah.
That was the worst thing I could say.
I'm trying to do comedy. I'm not actually like trying to read into parents.
Yeah. You know what? We don't need them. We had ours. I already had my parents. Thank you.
Also, according to Will Smith, they just don't understand.
They don't. They don't. You try to make it clear to them. Their knowledge is archaic. All they understand is Bob Dylan lyrics by now.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about In the Soup. Let's choose what movie we're gonna watch next week. What movie you guys want to watch next week?
Well, In the Soup kind of put me in the mood for like more like artsy fartsy kind of shit.
Oh, right. That's nice.
Yeah, what's next then? What's a good artsy fartsy one?
Well, my favorite movie of all time is The Seven Samurai. It's like Kurosawa, it's black and white, and it's like 3 hours long. So it might not be might not be a good candidate, but
oh, it won't be?
I mean, it's a long movie, so if you guys are down,
I'll watch it.
Really a long ass movie. I fucking love this
movie.
Yeah.
I'll watch a long movie.
Yeah.
I have no social life.
That's a movie that's been on my list for a while, and that I haven't gotten around to.
Seven Samurai.
I would welcome an opportunity to sit down and watch it.
Cool.
Seven Samurai it is.
Awesome. Yeah, and make sure it's the Kurosawa one. It came out in like 57, I want to say, but I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, it's gorgeous.
Is there a remake floating around?
They did they adapted it to like a western called The Magnificent Seven, which you probably seen.
Oh, right.
Or heard of.
I haven't seen it, but I'm aware of its existence as well.
Yeah, it's like a story that gets recycled a lot now. You see it in a lot of different stuff.
Cool.
Dope.
Hell yeah.
All right, so this week we picked a movie that came out in 1992, which was directed by Alexandre Rockwell, also written by him, also written with Tim Cassell, featuring Steve Buscemi and his co-lead Seymour Cassell. This is a loopy, artsy-fartsy comedy, friendship goes off the rails type movie in which Steve Buscemi plays a failed delusional screenwriter living in New York City, and it opens up and it does the firsthand narration thing, which is painful right from the start of this movie. You hear the delusions come through the speakers, and he's like, "Someday I'll be a famous writer." So you get from the start that this guy's he's a screenwriter, and then you get to see if he has any chance of being a successful screenwriter. And from all senses of it, it doesn't even look like he writes that much anymore at all. And and he has no real life either. You get the sense he just has this empty life, and he wants to succeed. But in not being able to succeed commercially, the one thing he has that might get him money is his script, which is way too long. It's 550 pages, but he puts it up for sale. And this charming, larger-than-life, wannabe, small-time gangster character offers to pay him for the script and to help him direct it and produce it. And he does give him a down payment. But then basically Steve Buscemi's character ends up at the whims of this guy, not knowing if the movie's going to get made. But I loved what was I gonna say? I just liked Seymour Cassell's performance in this movie. I remember I liked so much because I could see myself getting stuck around someone that dangerous and yet exciting to be around. Especially if I was in a lonely place like Steve Buscemi's character. He doesn't have any friends anyways, so I guarantee you he wasn't ready to admit it, but he was stoked to be hanging out with this wildcat guy who might help him make his movie. So that was a kind of brief summary of the movie. We can get into the guts of it now. I don't know what you guys thought when you watched this.
So I'm just learning now. So this isn't a Jim Jarmusch directed movie.
No, and I didn't say it was.
No,
I did.
I thought so. I know. Let me tell you my logic. So I know that he made movies in the 90s with Steve Buscemi, and it kind of looks like his aesthetic, and it's New York City in the 90s. And then also Jim Jarmusch is in this movie, which he is often in his own movies. But I also know that around this time in the 90s, there were like a group of alternative filmmakers who were all sort of in each other's work, and that Steve Buscemi's in another of them. So I just because of all those sort of tropes that are usually along, and then seeing Jim Jarmusch made me think that this was his movie. But
yeah, I could see that. Yeah, that's an easy similar genre for sure.
He plays the male host of the nude question game show.
Yeah, I thought that scene really spoke to if you're in the arts world and you felt any sense of embarrassment about trying to share your art, but feel like people are just laughing at you. That's like the extreme example of it, because he's just trying to get some money, and he does that interview, and it's he has to do it naked. So
and then they'll only give him half the money after he's done.
Yeah. So he's really having a hard time. And as a stand-up comic, I don't know about you, Ryan, but I feel like I've been like one step away from feeling that embarrassed. So like, oh, I came here because I'm interesting and you wanted to interview me. But then suddenly you're just way too personal and naked, but wish you weren't on stage.
I love that it comes back around and slaps him in the face later too.
Oh yeah.
Like it was funny enough just as like a little like one-off kind of like gag. And then like later on when his friend brings the prostitutes to his house, and one of them like lays down in bed with him, and she's like ready to give him head just because he's like depressed. And then like
he blows it.
The piece comes on the TV, and she's and this is right after he's like what you do for money, I don't need your pity. and and then like
Yeah,
this thing where he like went on TV for money, like naked, and like
true.
now like
That's a good
the
parallel.
tables have
Yeah.
turned.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know if you guys pitied the character. I would have pitied him, but it was almost worthwhile because he was like pretty delusional. It would only come out every now and then in small details, which I liked about it. Like that one of his plans for his movies for a blind guy was to have the first 20 minutes of the movie just be a black screen.
Yeah.
Like, so we're talking about that kind of character who like thinks he's going to get famous. It's like big around Western Massachusetts is like these like high production, like overthought pieces are never going to have any commercial value because they don't even know if this guy's a good writer to begin with. And that's such a like, if you expect to succeed by being that artistic, people are just gonna, you know what I mean? You don't really take him seriously as a film creator. Or I
Well,
never even really cared what his script was about. I was like, we never
but
even
he
found out
seems
what
like
his script was about.
he seems like a pretentious type.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I think obviously like in the circles of just performing, we've all been around people who are sort of like shoving themselves at everybody, all that, like people who are always trying to tell you how talented they are.
yeah,
Like that's what I got from this character is
Like the
that
kind of guy who picks up a acoustic guitar and starts playing at a party.
yeah,
yeah.
like
It
fake
needs to
it till
be
you
heard.
make it, but like and like always trying to show everybody like, hey, like I'm gonna be great one day. And it's like I guess that we all saw that in a movie at some point, but like I don't know, that person's annoying.
You get that too. You get his excessive, like his excess makes him not successful. Like that his screenplay is 550 pages long should tell you like right off the bat that that's no good because that's like a 6-hour movie.
Yeah,
That's what
no,
that
like
equals. It pages in length. That's got like he wrote like he clearly that needed like to be edited by like 90% because that's too like that's way too long. So if I was a producer anyways and he was like, please, I would be like, it's nobody, if you're not known and you're trying to pitch a 500-page script, nobody's going to, I just know that much about publishing. They're just going to be like, yeah. So he is definitely snobby and you hear it in those interior monologues. What do you guys think about that? I always cringe in movies when they actually still do the thing where you hear the first person of the character being like, I was going to be a big screenwriter one day.
Well, okay, so in this case, I have a lot of feelings about that in general, but in this case, I feel like uh connected with it being in black and white, like they're doing like sort of a noir thing,
yeah, totally.
like a early noir, like so there I was, like out in the cold, that's what I got
Yeah,
from this.
that makes sense.
So it's like more of a nod to something, so I think it's uh like a genre appropriate. I kept thinking that this movie was going to turn into a horror film, like around the time that Steve Buscemi's character first meets Joe, and he keeps showing up in his apartment, and Steve Buscemi's very like alarmed by it. Every time he shows up somewhere, and Steve Buscemi doesn't know what's going on when they break into the uh or when they go into the house first of all, like it seems like things are about to get like take a really fucked up left turn, and then they don't. They get okay, but it there's some tension in this movie. Am I wrong?
No, you're right because you know that he has money. Always wearing a really nice suit. He always has like two women on his arm and like alcohol to drink, but you never know where the money's coming from. I think that builds the tension because you can tell he has money, but he never says he has a job. You know he doesn't have a job, so you know he's doing illegal stuff to get it. And for his Steve Buscemi's character, it's like safe for him kind of, but there's all because he's fun to be around, but it also does always feel like someone's about to like bust in with a gun and be like, you still owe me $600 and like just start firing at him because he was powerful but not that powerful a character. Like
I think they really established the tone of that tension when you meet his brother, who is a hemophiliac criminal, who's like constantly like
yeah.
wicking the blood off of his face, and he's like at the same time like talking like he's like a total badass. There's something really terrifying about that. Like
That character was scary.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
and like his hemophilia gets a lot worse like later on, like, and they don't explain why, but like, you know, you see him and he's got like a little like cut on his chin. The next time you see him, it's like his whole face is like fucked up.
Looks like he's never felt happiness in his life. That's what
Yeah.
I looked at that guy. I forget his name,
I
but
think
yeah.
the actor's name is Jim Caviezel or something like that. Caviezel.
He kind of looked like the guy who played the bad guy in Fargo, the quiet bad guy in Fargo. It wasn't that guy, but
Yeah.
What's his character's name?
forget. Bone Crusher. Just kidding.
Like Chappie or something?
No, I think it is Bone Crusher. Actually, no, probably Chappie. They don't put characters named Bone Crusher in film noir movies.
It's something like Chappie. I think he's got like a one-word name, and I think it's.
We should watch Chappie. How come not? How come not so single one of us and say, you know, what was a heart? Chappie. It's like, you know what that movie made me want to do? It made a friend that I was about to beat the shit out of everyone at the mall. That's what Chappie made me feel like. For real, that robot gangster. That Chappie. He gets beat up, but he gets back up, that Chappie.
One fine Chappie.
I actually did like the movie Chappie. It had the lead singers from Dirt Antwoord as the main characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
the South African.
Not to cut you off.
Oh, please go ahead. This is interstate traffic.
Yeah. Well, so the movie that we are talking about, In the Soup.
In the Soup.
Yeah. There's a scene where he's like dressed like Santa Claus, and we find out that he, you know, is a criminal, and it's kind of interesting because he's already established that he's kind of like this like domineering, like somewhat like overly affectionate, you know, like he's like grabbing
teddy bear.
Yeah, he's like grabbing and kissing this dude all the time and shit.
He's a grabby teddy bear.
He like wakes up with him in his bed, like nibbling on his ear, you know, and like he's trying to
he gets kind of pervy.
He's like he's overpowering him. He can't get out of bed, like, you know, the guy's like on top of him, and you know, and it's like it is very.
It's a bit much. Yeah, no, I remember that about this movie. I always heard about it because like you like his character, but he does get like a little like I'd be like, okay, no, we're friends, we stuff, but then when he gets to the level of like you wake up and he's like holding you down in your own bed and being like, we're friends.
Yeah.
You know, just ask Steve Yarbrough. It ruins friendships. That's why Steve doesn't have me over anymore. No, but yeah, he strikes me as a character who like in high school, like he was the high school quarterback. But he was too cool for the team and screwed over the team like four games into the season, so he could go drink instead of play quarterback. You know,
yeah.
He's just been drunk since junior year, since his varsity team dropout. What do you think he does for? Oh, you know what scene I liked when they're suddenly in that old guy's house, and it got like really weird and slowed down, and Steve Buscemi has a conversation with the old guy who clearly, the main character is robbing because he's an older guy with dementia. And that long conversation between Steve Buscemi and the guy with dementia is so weird because it's so chill. You know what I mean? The guy's not even thinking like, oh, he broke into my house. He's just like, what do you do here again?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you gotta go? Huh.
You gotta go? Yeah.
You can't sleep either, man.
Yeah, he's stealing pills from him, right? Isn't that why he was there? Seymour Cassell.
I wasn't really sure because the first thing he did was like go into that woman's room and like try to take the painting over her head.
Well, that's what you do when you see. Just a pro move. If you break into old people's houses, the best reason to do it is to steal medication.
I'll definitely say
that. I don't promote that though.
Oh, word.
stealing old people's medications.
I'm glad you cleared that up. Yeah, listeners, we don't condone breaking into people's houses. If you're that kind of person, maybe you're not the person that we're looking for as a listener.
I don't know. I don't know if they were stealing medicine in the scene. I feel like maybe I just reimagined into it because nowadays break-in scenes usually involves like you see a hand in the cupboard, grab like a bottle of pills. Like that's a whole modern shot. It's just the cupboard opens and pills get grabbed? I thought I saw that in that shot.
Well, no,
but
like
once again,
usually
maybe
the cover
just
isn't
imagined
over
it.
someone's
I
head,
probably
like in their
What would I
bedroom.
do in this situation? Probably grab those pills.
That's
I
like some kind of
imagined
weird
pills
dream.
into it. Yeah, I inserted my own fake memory into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So creative. Such a creative brain that I inserted my own pill stealing into the
your own
equation.
memories.
No, I bet he was stealing pills though. It seems like probably what he was doing.
Why
You
would he
don't
be
know.
stealing pills? You think he was like selling pills?
Well, you
like,
don't even know why he was there. He could
Memory
have been
pills.
stealing medication. He could have been stealing to resell
You weren't there, Ryan.
Maybe there was a safe and he was stealing like bonds or something that would be
Maybe.
worth.
I
Maybe
thought there was
all
a
the
safe.
above.
Well, so
I'm not saying one or the other. He could have robbed it. He could have robbed it up.
I want to point out that the movie did fall apart in a couple of spots.
Okay.
I liked the end, but I found it all to be somewhat hard to believe.
I like the end.
For one thing, like if and of course we're going into spoiler territory at this point.
Oh, I guess we have to, don't we? Or no, we don't.
Well,
or do we? I guess I'm asking.
Yes, I have to spoil the ending, but
all right, let's spoil the ending.
If you are listening and you haven't
Stop
seen
listening
this movie,
now.
Skip forward 30 seconds. So at the end of the movie, the gun goes off in her hands and she kills Jim Caviezel, and then she like drives off, and she comes back and it's like, she's surprised. Like, I'm sorry, but like you would notice a gun going off in your hand.
I know.
Like, so that's the first thing where it's just like.
Well, didn't he play it off like it didn't happen? Like she thought the shot happened and then he pretended it didn't happen. So he might have just been hiding it from the start and she believed it because he was such a prankster. And she knew he was a prankster.
Yeah, I mean, like, they definitely set it up so that you can provide the benefit.
He was like, I don't want her to know my last gift to her is not going to let her see me dying. I'm going to pretend she didn't just shoot me in the gut.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was poetic. The accidentally being shot in the stomach thing was, it made sense emotionally because your stomach is your center of power. And that guy was a balance between power and disempowerment because he had so much power and yet he was so out of control all the time that it would be fitting that he would accidentally shoot himself in the gut in the end. Do himself in, so to speak. It almost felt like suicide, like his yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah. Not that he deserved it, but almost just as well because his whole life he basically lived his life like a movie, like it was a movie.
Like a tough guy.
Like a tough guy. Yeah. I've had friends. Have you guys had a friend that's crazy and yet you continued being around them despite it maybe causing you serious danger?
To a certain point, but
there's a certain.
We should save that for a future episode. Be like when your weird friends put you in danger. Episode 1. Ryan tells a story about his time at the bank. Something like that. With your bank robbing friend who said he wasn't gonna do it anymore.
Terrible.
Kept on going. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it. You know that friend. Yeah, I thought so. We recommend that. I don't know.
I would. I like.
Yeah, big recommend.
I thought it was great.
It was awesome, right?
It was very watchable. It wasn't hard to watch at all. Like it kept me like in there. It was
in the soup.
It was funny. It was engaging. There was like suspense. It really. I definitely would recommend it.
Yeah,
that's right.
But Jim Jarmusch did not direct it.
But he is in it for some reason.
Oh, one other thing.
He was on SpongeBob.
Dude, this looks weird, right?
I feel like it does look weird. I feel like his name is Adolfo because it's produced by some Japanese people. And I know that sounds weird, but there's a shit ton of like anime and like Japanese stuff where the main character's name
toured
is
with Hitler.
Adolfo.
That's because they loved Adolf during World War II.
I think it has something to do with Adolf because they did love Adolf.
That's hilarious. I don't know. We should look up to see if that's true.
Yeah, no,
it's just
curious.
A holdover. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just a 50-year-old holdover from their adoration of the leader of Nazi Germany.
Axis of evil.
Yeah. There's still some blood for it going around. Not with us though. We are pro Biden, but also pro Nixon podcast. Yeah, it's going to work very confusing.
I don't know all about that, but I'm definitely anti-Nazi.
I know I shouldn't. Oh yeah,
Yep.
me too, for sure. Yeah, that's a definite. That's a definite.
Pro snakes.
Pro snakes, yeah.
Yeah.
We got to find a. Jason, you're in charge of the tech. Do you got a way to post up a big poll?
Yeah.
Cast a huge net over the internet, like invade everyone.
Yeah.
With
So
the question.
What I'm thinking is
hit like 100,000 heads at once. That's what I'm
yeah.
asking.
Drop
it on them.
You're in Ryan's. Your shirt and Ryan's hat match.
It's it. Yeah, we planned it.
Oh,
we're going hunting.
Very nice.
It's from our hunting trip.
Yeah. So the poll is gonna say, "Are snakes tight?" And then the answers are it's just gonna be one. It's just gonna say, "Fuck you for asking."
Right? How dare you? Can it also say "How dare you" right after what you say?
Yeah. The two options are
even longer.
Fuck you for asking. How dare you?
Yeah. Don't give them a choice. They've lost the voice. Oh my lord! The candle shines bright for he who vote yes on Snake 1.
We'll see. I'm gonna. You can see it here, and I'm gonna snuff it out to end the episode.
All right. Like, Are You Afraid of the Dark? All right. Next week we watch 7 Samurai.
Until then,
episode 18 of Western Mass Comedy Group. Stay in the loop.
Yes.
Boop.
Boop, boop, boop.
Boop.
Good night, y'all.
Thanks for listening.
All right, we'll cut it there. Good work, you guys. I gotta go.
Cool.
Woo! You guys happy? That was I think that went well.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, good one.
Good thing Austin didn't show up, huh? Our guest would have ruined it.
If you guys want to do like more than one episode this week, I got a lot of free time.
Get your camera ready, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just have to put You have to put live footage of Michael Jordan doing slam dunks, like a 2-hour replay of Michael Jordan highlight reel.
I'm thinking I'll just stand in front of the camera and listen to this episode, and then like just mouth along with my lines.
Yeah.
You know, and then I'll just superimpose the camera.
I think that's a great idea.
I think that could work for sure.
I fully support it.
I'd say give it a shot.
Challenge accepted.
Okay.
That was a question.
Oh, you won't do it. You can't mouth out the whole thing. It is a challenge, actually.
Yeah, it is a challenge.
Ahead. Yeah. Yeah, I do challenge you.
That's why I said challenge accepted.